Welcome to the Cooking Marine. I'm going to be making fresh pasta today, and we're going to be making raviolis once I roll the pasta. And today this is how you start with making the fresh pasta. You're going to have all-purpose flour. This is approximately 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to need salt. I just put some salt in this measuring cup. You don't need that much. You're just going to have to add a couple pinches to your flour, because it's going to be important that you have salt in it. And I've got, this is a mixture of eggs and vegetable oil. And you're going to add a little bit of this mixture to the dough. And you're going to start moving it around, and a little bit at a time you're going to be adding to your dough to it. I want to add flour just a little bit at a time to where it just forms a dough. It's going to make a mess on your counter, but if you have a bench scraper like this, it's pretty easy to clean up. But I'm wearing gloves because it's hard to get off your hands and you got this dough on your hands. And add the rest of that mixture. That did not work out right. Basically, you just want to mix your flour into this egg mixture. It'll eventually form a dough. I've already made one dough disc today, just because it has to rest for about 30 minutes in the fridge to let the gluten relax that forms through putting this together. And just keep working it together, and eventually it'll form a dough. Hey, we're back. We're going to be rolling out the pasta now. We got the machine set up, and this is going to be what your dough disc is going to look like when you start. You want to try to get it a little bit flat to where you can get it through your machine. You're going to cut it with the dough with the bench cutter that I used to clean up the counter with earlier. You can cut it into 2 different ones, and you can take that, and you probably want to cover it up with something. I'm going to cover it up with a paper towel just to get some air off of it. And you're going to start rolling it through the machine, and you're going to do a little bit at a time. You're going to start it on your whatever your machine's widest setting is. And you're gonna see how it's real smooth looking. You can fold it back over and back over again. Put a little bit of flour on it just because it's a little tacky. If it's not tacky, you don't have to add the flour, but if it has a little tacky feeling to it, you can run it through again on your widest setting. And keep it going like that. This is still a little tacky, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour to it. I'm going to fold it back over one more time, and this is going to give it a real nice texture. All right, I've cut it down to number 5. I'm going to roll it through again. Each time it goes through the roller, it's going to get a little bit thinner, and I'm going to cut it down to number 4. You got to figure your machine on what thickness you want to set your dough at. And sometimes you only want to run it through after you get your widest setting. I'm going to go through one at a time, and just start rolling it through, and just sometimes you might need a little help in catching the pasta because it starts to get a little long. And so just enlist anybody you can. I'm on number 2 right now, and once I roll through this one, it might be enough. Tommy, hold it up out there. And then roll it through, and that's going to be a good thickness. I'm going to stop on number 2. I don't want to go to number 1. So I'm going to use this. This is my first pasta sheet. I have one more to do, but now that y'all got the concept of that, I'm not going to roll the other one on camera. But you take this and cut off an end, and cut off this end if they're uneven in shape. So that way you have a little bit of a way to use it, and then you can come down here and try to find center. Make just a little indentation on it. This is how you're gonna start making your ravioli. And you're gonna want to get your mixture here. I've already made the ravioli filling mixture. This is gonna be like a basic meat mixture. It's got ground beef in it, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your melon baller, or say a teaspoon measuring spoon, and you're gonna add a little spot of meat there, and you're gonna keep doing that for each of them. You're gonna want them about, say, 2 inches apart. And in the mixture here, what's in it, so y'all can try to make this, is I took 1 pound of ground beef, I took 1/4 of a yellow onion, and half of a bell pepper, and I added salt and black pepper to it. And the black pepper, I use fresh ground black pepper and fresh cracked salt with the sea salt cracker, and half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Once I mixed it together, I just formed it in. It's almost like I guess like you would say like a meatloaf. It would double as a meatloaf if you didn't have the cheese in it. I added that Parmesan cheese just because I like Parmesan cheese. But I'm going to go ahead and continue filling these out so I can go ahead and show y'all how to roll these over. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and start folding the raviolis, but first you're going to have to take an egg wash, which is just an egg. I used 1 single egg and added water to it, and you're going to use this as a glue, and you're going to put just a little bit around the edges, and then down the center. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to fold it over, and you're going to take between each of the raviolis, and you want to press out all the air. So you want to take your fingers and kind of just press right against the meat. And I'm going to use a little bit of flour on here because it was getting sticky. So, but you want to be sure to get all the air out of it, so that way they don't explode when you cook them. And you're going to do this same process on the rest of them. And depending on how much dough you want to make, you can probably going to make about 12 or 13 raviolis with this one recipe. And with both discs, right now with the sizes that I made earlier today, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd make total probably 12 raviolis. But you want to be sure to always get the air out, because they will explode in your water and it won't be fun. You won't be able to use your raviolis. Alright, so now you're going to cut them with your pizza cutter, and you're just going to go between the center of them and cut them between them. This one here is a little bigger, so I'm just going to trim off the edge. Not a big deal. It's been cut. And you can take a fork and use the bone scraper if they get stuck to the counter. And you can use a fork if you want to make little crimps around your ravioli. You don't have to, but if you want it to have like a little crimped look to it, so you don't have to buy a ravioli press or a little wheel that has the cuts on it. You can take that, and then I would put them on a cookie sheet and then take them over. Hi, we're going to be doing the boiling of the pasta now. These are the raviolis, a couple of them that I'm going to cook for the demonstration. I got my water boiling with salt and a little bit of oil in the water to keep the surface tension down so that it doesn't boil over, since it's got a lot of the fresh pasta in here, or the fresh dough. And you're going to add them in, just add them in one at a time, and they're going to cook for about 2 minutes. And once you add them to here, you're just going to put them in there, and you're just going to let them cook for about 2 minutes. That's going to cook the pasta through. It won't be overcooked. Once they start floating, you know they're getting done, and that's because the air pocket that didn't get out is all right. Now this is the finished product. I just did a basic tomato sauce. I bought the sauce. I didn't make it today, and I added a little bit of sage on top just to give a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor. The raviolis, as you can see, are cooked. The pastas are done. Very good flavor to it. And the meat is flavorful. Don't overpower the sauce and don't overpower the pasta. And it's pretty good. Come back and subscribe to us, and please leave comments on my video, and see us back next week. Thank you.